Stories that need to be told. We're back. I've been gone for a while. Again, it seems to be my pattern of behavior. Come summertime, I'm barely ever in LA. I like to take my summers, go to Michigan, clear my head. If I got a writing gig, I pony up at the lake house. We've had a lake house in Charlevoix, Michigan for basically my whole life. And there's nothing better to me than the summers in Michigan. I get to hang with the family. Cousins come and visit up at the house. We go boating. The food is amazing. It is just the perfect place to clear your head, and I don't get there enough. And oddly enough, I'm moving out of my apartment. I'm already packing boxes. I shipped one back to Detroit yesterday. I shipped clothing back. I feel like I might just disappear into the lake house and knock on wood, I'm about to start another movie, the one about the IndyCar racers who were drug smugglers. And if that's the case, if we lock this thing up, I may just go disappear for a couple weeks and just pony up at the lake house, come back to LA when I need to. We might have to do this, for the summer at least, just until late, mid-September. Do this via phone.
So you're going to be gone until September?
I'll be gone till September.
I'll be gone
till September. I don't know if I'm going to be gone till September. I'm saying this is a possibility. I am definitely moving out of my apartment because I'm tired of that place. And I got these new neighbors upstairs, and they tried to get cheap when they restructured their hardwood floors. There's no padding. I see you searching for a sound effect. Don't do it till I tell you could do it, because I got to talk to you also. Stock tip Dave. And they're stomping on my head. And I've been in that building for so long. And between the stomping on my head at 9 o'clock at night when they walk back and forth, and I don't want to be the neighbor that tells people how to live. They're living their life. They're not doing anything harmful. They're just walking, and it just sounds like thunder. So between that and then the people partying now at the pool, there's these young YouTubers, YouTube star dudes that are shooting videos and whatever, all these little, dudes, little young dudes in their 20s. Then I had to use my young Mike voice on them because they were partying in the jacuzzi, and my place is right next to the jacuzzi.
Your door opens right up to it.
Right up to the jacuzzi. So I hear these young dudes, little hip hop kids talking blah blah blah, and then Mike Young became Young Mike. And I got out of bed at 1:45. I went to the balcony. Of course, I had to throw a shirt on because nobody was going to fear me with shirtless. So I threw a shirt on. I went to the balcony. I just said, "Yo, player, you got to chill. Just you just got to chill out." I just said it real calm, and they actually did chill out. They could see I was not playing at 1:45 in the morning. I need my sleep. You know what I mean? Post-vertigo sleep. You got to get your rest.
You said you had a little spell in Detroit, no?
Yes, I had a little spell in Detroit, yeah. And the doctor called it. My guy here, he's listen, it's probably going to happen again one more time in the next month. And he called it. And what happened was the medical industry, you're a racket. You're a racket. I think doctors should have a higher calling to just get me better, get you better, heal us. Show me the doctor that just wants to make you live and feel good, okay? When I go into your office and I say I had a little vertigo that one night, but I feel great and fine now, why would you spin me into Eppley maneuver? Why would you put me in that maneuver and make me feel worse for a 2.5 week period of off balance and fogginess? Why would you do that? And then why would you, while I'm dizzy, walk out and tell your secretary the visit's $475? Just, you know what I mean? So I'm going to call American Express, and I'm going to cancel the payment to that doctor because I don't like the way he handled that. He got me dizzy and then charged me. Meanwhile, before I went in, they asked me what my insurance was, which is I got a PPO, great insurance. They asked me what it was. When I got there, they're yo, we don't take insurance. So I feel it was a quick scam.
Yeah, bait and switch.
He bait and switched me. So I'm either going to beat you up as a person. I'm just going to beat you up, doctor. You know what I mean? I'm going to beat you up. And I didn't like that he kept mentioning while I was there. He's don't drive. I don't want to get sued. Be careful. Don't drive until you feel good. You know what I mean? You scumbag. And I know there's good doctors out there. I know they're out there. But there's a whole world out there of these doctors that are they've just been doing it too long, and they lost their heart, and they lost their ability to feel for a human being and like to be like deal with the patient, and they're just looking for the quick money hit.
Yeah, the fact that he was like, that's 475 right in front of you was like
right in front of me.
kind of rude.
Like, I want to call this motherfucker. Excuse my, I want to call this guy. I want to call him, but he doesn't even have a secretary that answers. It goes to a service, and then they call you back. So he's got a service set up, but I know where his office is. Right on Wilshire.
Hopefully the return time's pretty fast.
Return, am I feeling better?
No, the return, I'm like, you like leaving a voicemail with the service, and then he getting back.
Oh,
to you.
yeah, he's terrified. Anytime I've called, he calls me back. He absolutely calls. Are you okay? Everything okay? Yeah, bro, I'm okay. But I wasn't okay. Now I'm okay, because what I learned about this stupid vertigo thing is it does go away. It goes away. You know what I mean? It's just a thing.
Yeah.
I'm not like a 7-year-old woman who's suffering from like all constant vertigo. I'm a dude who spun out of bed too fast while dehydrated, and it totally goes away. But it would have gone away within 3 days had I not gone to this dude. Instead, he made it linger. So I went to a high-level ENT in Detroit, and who was like a friend of the family's who cares that, make sure I'm cool. And he's like, he's like, listen, your doctor overextended. He overdid it. And you're going to be fine. Go right back to doing everything you do in life, and you're good. I went back to swimming in the lake. I went back to diving. You know what I mean? I just went back to life. So I ended up losing like 10 pounds out of stress. My brother's like, yo, you need to go see a psychiatrist because you're fully in anxiety mode. So then I started seeing a psychiatrist, you know what I mean? And I was like, off the 6 seconds of spinning, now I got to see a shrink. Long story, boring, whatever. I could use a shrink. But I'm fine. I'm good, bro. I'm back in the gym. I'm hitting the weights.
Looked like you were back in training and having fun in Detroit.
Yeah, I felt great in Detroit. I went to the lake house, ate amazing whitefish. The family, my cousins came up there, had a great time. So I was gone. I've been gone for like 3 weeks. I went to Florida with Saget, had great shows. Of course, I'm starting to feel great, and then I get on we go to land in Miami, and we take back off on a giant Delta flight. Yeah, a JetBlue.
It landed and then took off.
It didn't hit the ground. It went whoo, right back up. So now like the pressure's in my ears, and I'm feeling worse in Miami. And what happened was, I guess,
you overshot it.
We didn't overshoot it. There was lightning storm, and like how Miami's got that crazy weather where like a lightning storm will come in on one cloud. You'll have one cloud that has a full storm going on in it, and everything around it's sunny.
Oh, yeah.
So we had lightning nearby. So we took back off, spun back around out to the ocean, and came back in. So then I was all messed up for like, 2 hours of pressure. I was dehydrated. The whole thing, man. Bottom line was something kicked in a very positive way through all of this anxiety that I felt. I had like a major, awesome comedy breakthrough. Because I've been writing new material, but I hadn't been doing it like I wanted to be doing it. And this just like cracked open something in like my creative spirit. And I got back, I got on my computer and I went over all my new bits that I've been working on and getting together, and I started just doing them. And so I just cracked it open. And when I got off stage in Miami, Saget was like, that's the best show I've seen you do. And I don't know why, I don't know what physically I was feeling and mentally I was going through, but like it cracked open a creative hole that I needed to crack.
So that was the first time you broke out the new material? It was right there in Florida?
It's the first time that I dug that deep into the new material, like I got these new bits, just like Mike Young versus Young Mike, and this bit about, I really extended like, people don't like to be alone, and I did my whole alone time bit, and I really, dragged it out longer. And I just went into my, bit about my lame divorced friends, and I kicked it out longer. And so I really feel like I cracked open like this new 20 minutes that I've been dying to do for so long, but I've been like scared or being safe or just feeling dead inside, basically. And I got, I woke up, like something woke up in me.
Well, you were practicing in Detroit at those comedy clubs, so that must have been helping before you went on the big show.
Yeah, that was one of the best things that I've done in years. And it reminded me of when I first got to LA and I was like, became a regular at the Comedy Store, which was like, I became a regular like 12 or 13 years ago. I don't remember what year I was made a regular by Mitzi Shore. But there was a time where me and Brett and Sebastian and Butch Bradley and Sam Tripoli and all these dudes, we would just go to these open mics. I mean, like real gritty shit. You know what I mean? Like open mic in a coffee shop in a corner of a place where people are drinking coffee and eating muffins. We would go, I remember me and Tripoli would roll out to like the Ramada Inn off like La Brea or Cahuenga, like the hood Ramada Inn. You know what I mean? Where you go to do your drug deals if you're coming in from Miami to meet someone and like the shit is going down. You know, and the room, the comedy room was in the basement of the Ramada Inn. And there was like 6 people usually in the crowd. 2 kids, you know what I mean, while their parents are sleeping upstairs that are on vacation. You know what I mean? 1 girl from Guatemala that speaks no English. And like 2 people that spoke English and 1 homeless person hanging near the bar. Like that was the crowd. And being in Detroit, I just started looking up like open mics and like comedy clubs around the area that I could go get up in. And they opened this new place ironically enough, in Southfield, Michigan, where I'm from. And it's called the Punchline. It's not no relation to the Punchline in San Fran or Sacramento, but they open up a comedy club in Southfield, and it's an urban club, all black audience, and the dude Ty who owns it was like cool enough to just let me come whenever I wanted. Excuse me. And I was coming in there basically every night. And he was letting me do 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you know what I mean?
Did he give you any video of yourself or no?
No video. I recorded a few sets, but really I just had my notebook up there, had my subjects ready, and it just reminded me of that feeling of, like, my favorite feeling in comedy is when you're just getting good at your new shit. And I think phases happen in this business of stand-up where you get your half hour going, right? And now your half hour is tight. And you're whatever, and you're doing it. And so you just get comfortable doing it. And then when you get on the road with like a Joe Rogan or Russell Peters or Sebastian or yourself, Young American Tour, whatever, when you're on the road, now you're not going into your new shit. Now you're not working on that new material.
Yes.
Now you don't have that open mic.
You're seasoned because you've already practiced it.
Well, you're seasoned, but you're also getting comfortable, which you don't ever want to get comfortable. You just don't want to get comfortable.
Yeah. How many people did you perform in with Saget in Florida?
1,000.
1,000?
Sold out, Seminole Coconut Casino.
Nice. How was it down there?
Amazing. The venue was dope. The people were cool, and the new material, you know, it just flowed, you know. But my point is that you gotta stay uncomfortable as an artist. You gotta stay uncomfortable. You gotta stay hungry even when shit's good, and you gotta get uncomfortable even when you're comfortable. Now, I'm down with like what Seinfeld did, you know, same exact material for 15, 20, whatever he was doing, and then he put it to rest. But I've never gotten to Seinfeld's level as a stand-up to like even think that way. So I just wanted to get this new material crafted to have that hour that I could go on and do. And I didn't realize how long I'd been doing the same shit. Like my mind, I don't have one of those good brains where, you know, those people that are like, oh man, in 2002, that summer, 2002 was I don't know what the fuck was going on in 2002. Are you crazy? I don't know years at all. Literally, I do not know. I don't have year memory. I've got like, when I'm writing a script, like when I was working on the book thing, like the White Boy Rick thing, and the dude was like, the editor was sending me back, if he changed a word or a phrase, and I read it, I knew right away. I can remember every word I write, but I cannot remember years. So I didn't realize how long I've been doing the same material. My brother kept telling me, you've been doing the same shit forever, man. I have been. And he's right. And so bottom line is it got you on, like, you know, some Tonight shows and stuff. I saw your clips. Yeah. It got me on some late night talk shows. But you're only doing 6 minutes on those shows. And you're stressing yourself out over 6 minutes. You know, and it's like a friend of mine is in town right now. She books the Seth Meyers show. So I want to get a 6-minute thing for Seth Meyers, and I haven't even submitted it to her. It's also like a funny thing because I don't know, she's kind of hot. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I need to draw that line. Business.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
Absolutely.
Let's not cross the line yet. You know what I mean? Let's not cross the line.
Yeah, because most people, separate business from their personal.
For sure. But this business is such a fucking weird business. It's hard to separate business and personal because it's a business of pretty people. So like, listen, when I directed My Man is a Loser, I did not fuck around. There were actresses that I could have got with and that liked me as a person. Like we were like hanging and going to, the cast would go out and we'd get drinks or whatever and hang out. But I didn't ever cross a line. It's not my style. It's never been my style. So like for all these scumbag dudes that have like abused their power, it makes me sick because you're just a fucking lame. Like you're a lame. That means you were a lame in high school. You were a lame if you went to college. You were just a lame. You know, if you have to like use your status or your power to get the girl and now you got her scared that she's going to like lose a job and you're playing that card, you're a bitch. You're a bitch, you know? And like, you know, I don't want to I'm not like trying to tough talk, but like if any of that shit would have happened to like a cousin of mine, or like I don't have a sister, but I got like I got female cousins. They're cute, you know what I mean? And if anybody would have done that shit, there'd have been a knock at your door, Harvey Weinstein. You got a knock, you know what I mean? There's a knock coming, and it's me and my 11 male cousins that all look Italian, that weigh 240 pounds, that love fighting. I got all-state wrestlers in the family. We got goons in our family, real goons. And if that shit would have ever happened, there would have been, you'd have heard about me owning all kinds of movies. I'd have had a piece of Miramax. You know what I mean? Like, for real. So I never understand, like, that. I guess I'm not a woman, so I don't understand, like, the don't say anything till way later move, because I would hope that you just come right out immediately. But I know there's, like, a fear, and there's, like, a stigma, and there's, like, all this shit. You know, and there's obviously three sides, and I'm not talking about Harvey Weinstein. I'm talking about, like, there's three sides to every story. But my girl cousin comes back to the family reunion, and she's like, I went into this meeting, and a guy pulled his dick out and said I could have a job. You're that guy. Now we own 8% of his company. We're Suge Knighting you. You're getting Suge Knighted by the Young clan, by the Meckler family. Like, if you met all my cousins, you'd laugh because they are all
like 6'2".
We look Italian, you know. I got a mean uncle, you know what I mean? All my cousins can fight, you know. One was almost hockey players. There's all kinds of animals in my family, you know. And we got lawyers. For just in case any of us get in trouble, we got a lawyer. You know, we got 2 lawyers, 3 lawyers, 4 lawyers. 4 lawyers in our family.
It's always good to have a lawyer in the family.
Oh, they've helped us. We got 4 lawyers in a family of animals. You know what I mean? Like, I've been in trouble. My uncle's been my lawyer. My brother got in trouble up in northern Michigan. My other cousin was his lawyer. You know, we got lawyers. You got to have a lawyer in the family.
Oh, yeah.
And we have 4. But the whole point is, I wasn't trying to go down this path of like of crossing the line, and I didn't want to get into the whole hashtag Me Too movement. I'm just saying, you fuck with one of my family, you know, on that level, and we're coming for you.
Yeah.
You know. And I remember, like, I don't know. I don't want to start getting into names, but a couple of those people that got hashtagged and are out there, I had some weird, I was with a girlfriend back in the day, sitting down, and one of these dudes who like is in trouble and he's gone from the business. He was hitting on her like right in front of me.
Oh wow!
And I checked him, and it was at Jerry's Deli.
Jerry's Deli.
Yeah. I said, motherfucker, do you not see me right here? Like, I'll slap the fat off your face. Like, what are you doing? You know? But he was like a big director, and he had like pull, and he just thought the earth was his stomping ground. And like, no, dudes, you're in check now. You know, some dudes that are getting crushed out there maybe don't deserve it. You know, I don't want to go over every case, but some of you dumb motherfuckers who never got laid and had no game in your life, good for you. Go to jail. You don't fuck with girls like that. Go away. It's over. It's a wrap.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Karma's the realest shit on planet Earth, and it always gets paid. On another subject, Dave, I'm very interested in this, man. And I don't know if it's like a people in their, you know, because you're not a millennial, bro. You're over 30. You know what I mean? And last week, very simple task. I said, do me a favor. Send Aaron an email. Tell him we're not making it. We're not coming in. And like you waited an hour, it got too close to time. Poor Aaron's driving in to like engineer and run the podcast, and your language was vague. You're like, and I don't want to get into like a bashing Stock Tip Dave because you're great.
I used the wrong word. I said stop filming, or we're not filming. I should have said
But
we're
you
not
weren't
recording.
clear.
Yeah, it was my fault.
You weren't clear, you know. But then it just brings me into like, there's something going on with like people in their 20s, right? Like I'm not gonna say her name, okay? But I offered to hire somebody out, you know, for like social media purposes, right? I'm not gonna say her name, but I want to know. You got a panic look. Don't worry, bro, because if she was here, I would talk to her. So I say, yo, I'm gonna give you $100. Let me know what's going. Here's $100. Take 20 an hour. Let's go on the trust system. Tell me when you think you worked 5 hours, and I'll give you another 100 every 5 hours. Just trust. I'll tell you. All of a sudden, this person hits me up and she's like, yo, I sent you all these clips. I'm like, yo, where are the clips? I didn't get any clips. So then a week goes by, I hear nothing. I'm like, yo, where are these video clips that I think I paid you for? They never showed up. I talked to her yesterday. She's like, I'll send you the clips tonight. Don't worry. No clips. I'll send you the clips today. No clips. Is there a wave of like young people that don't want to work right now? I feel like there's like I don't want to be the older dude who's like, yo, man, it's so hard to find good help. Kids don't want to work these days. But I've talked to a lot of people. I was up in northern Michigan. My boy started a new company, a maple syrup company. He's got like people tapping trees, hundreds of people out there working.
Wow.
And it's a growing company. And he's got like, and if you're like in your 20s and up in northern Michigan and you want to work and you got some hustle in you, you make a lot of money. But a lot of these, he said the young people, he said the people, their kids in their 20s, he said his best workers are in their 40s. He's like, he can't even get these kids to focus, and he's offering real money. And so,
they actually said that the focus of people have been declining because of social media. So they're more interested in what's going on social media than what's in front of them.
Yo, I see it with my nephew. Sometimes my nephews are on their phone all day.
I'm guilty of it too.
Yo, you gotta get off your phone, everybody. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be the end of it's gonna cause the economy to go down. The addiction to your iPhone is causing a lack of focus. A lack of focus is gonna cause you to not be able to produce good content, make good products, and what's gonna happen is robots should take your fucking job. So fuck the human beings. Why would you hire a human being when a robot actually can focus? I'm down. I've never wanted to be down with a robot.
See, McDonald's is actually starting the trend. So now you can go into McDonald's. You can literally push the screen for your order, and then the actual human being in the store just gives you the food. You order on the machine, and they just hand you the food.
I love that. I'm sorry that I love that. Let robots take over. You know what I mean? I'm sorry that you're losing human jobs. But if you can't focus, you don't deserve a job. If you're in the middle of, I order a Big Mac and you're on your phone, you might miss my cheese. I might not get the cheese I ordered. I want my cheese. You know what I mean? So there is a definite lack of focus. And listen, I've looked at my phone too many times, but I think I'm pretty like when I write, my phone is in another room or it's playing music behind me off my speaker.
Because you always isolate yourself so you're not distracted, have nothing that can kind of take your attention away from your writing.
Yo, there's one phrase that I love. Discipline is the only way to freedom, meaning and happiness. Like you have to have discipline in anything that you're doing to have any kind of success or any kind of freedom. You have to have discipline. And I feel like I've been very fortunate like the last few years, that I keep getting hired to write these movies or TV shows or whatever they're hiring me for. And I think it has to do with there's only like 15 of us that are focused.
Yeah.
There's only 15 disciplined people left.
I'll call you up and you'll be like, hey, Dave, I'm in writing mode. I'll have to call you back in like an hour. I can't be distracted right now.
I can't be distracted. You can't be. And, my boy Jesse just did, that book Living with the Monks. And he had to put his phone away for 30 days or 20 days, however long he was, and it tortured him for a minute. But you have to get in the habit of putting your phone away. Excuse me. Because if you don't, A, you're going to get hit by another car while driving.
Or
B,
walk
you're going to
into
get run
somebody on the
over.
sidewalk.
Yeah, you're going to. I want to do like a fun video, Dave, where like, because you're very non-threatening. You know what I mean? I couldn't get away with it because somebody would pull out a gun. But like, we should go on the street and people that are on their phone walking, bump into them a little bit. Give them a bump. Knock the phone out by accident out of their hand. Let's just go out in the world and show people you got to get off your phone. By the way, the world's a beautiful place if you look around.
See, it's funny you said that because the other day I was talking about like a hidden camera going into situations where like other people can sit there and watch what's going on. So I think for what you're saying right now, I think investing in those Snapchat video sunglasses wouldn't be a bad idea because if I'm walking the streets purposely bumping into people, we'll have that on video through the Snapchat sunglasses.
Do those work?
I think they do.
Do they?
They sell them at the Grove. I think they're around like $80. And
I'll get you a pair of those glasses. We need to test those out because if that works, I absolutely want to see you lightly bump into people. You know what I mean? So you don't get beat up.
Yeah.
But like, these people need to get fucking. By the way, I started driving those scooters. You got to be careful on these little bird scooters. People are not focused. You got to be a dope scooter rider, which I am because I grew up riding motorcycles. But like, I love the scooters, by the way.
They're fun.
Have you been on one yet?
Yeah, they go up to 18 miles an hour.
The birds?
Yeah.
Yo, so I got my bird working. I'm all locked in. Yesterday, I went looking for new places to live on a bird scooter. I went and I scootered all over West Hollywood, Melrose area, Melrose near the Improv, that little area. I was scootering block to block to block. It was awesome. I scootered all day. Today's too hot to scooter.
Yeah.
I think. But like once it cools off, I'm getting back on the scooter. Like a dope mode of transportation.
See, like, it's awesome, but I do think there's going to be a wave of rules and laws that come into effect for it because, you know, they don't want people going out to bars, renting one, and going around like hammered on these scooters and stuff. So
are they still available at nighttime? Because I haven't seen a lot of night scooters.
So there's been a few times around 10:30 I've been on my way home. I've scanned every scooter along the way.
Yeah.
It either says batteries low or after hours. So I think they do. I think there is a cutoff time.
Okay.
Maybe I'm wrong or it's just battery related, but I've never been able to get one after 10 p.m.
Interesting. And that's actually smart on their part because I've already thought about like scootering up to the Comedy Store for fun.
Yeah.
But if it's cut off, 10 o'clock's probably cut off time.
Yeah, but going up that hill, I'd actually like to see you go up that hill. We should videotape that.
I don't know if it'll make it. I don't think those scooters have hardcore traction. You know, I don't think they have it. But I'm excited to be back in LA. I'm excited to get back to the Comedy Store. 4th of July, I flew back in on the 3rd.
Yeah, wanted to ask you about your 4th of July.
Listen, I'll name drop 7 names right now. My 4th of July was fun, you know, and I'm trying to like give myself the ability to have more fun. It's one of the things I need to work on.
Like I saw videos of the party in Malibu. It looked pretty awesome.
My boy rented Chris Chelios' house in Malibu. I'll just be real. Let's be real. As a kid from Detroit, from Southfield, Michigan, I can appreciate it. I'm straight up enjoying my life out here in LA. I've had a beautiful opportunity to have friends that are, you know, have done very well, and they've treated me to cool, fun events. And 4th of July, my boy rents out Chelios' house. There's probably 90 beautiful women in bikinis and from around here that are having fun, playing volleyball, amazing food. You know what I mean? You got Leo playing volleyball. You got Gerard Butler in the background, you know what I mean? Trying to get him rolling a movie. I don't know what he's talking about. You know what I mean? But it was like one of those Hollywood Malibu parties, and it actually was a ton of fun. My boy Pookie was DJing up top on the deck. You know, it was invite only.
He wants to come on the podcast.
We got to get him on the podcast.
I ran into him 2 weeks ago. He's like, yeah, tell Mike Young I want to come on, but I'll only do it if Stock Tip Dave books me.
Oh, so let's book Pookie for sure. And because Pookie's a staple in LA. I've been friends with him for 20 years, man. Since I moved to LA, you know, I've told the story before, but like I you know, within 2 years of living in Los Angeles, I joined a men's basketball team because my boy Chuck would come to the Comedy Store and he kind of just like liked my comedy and we just became friends. And he's from LA and he happened to be getting on this team. And on the team was Leonardo DiCaprio, Tobey Maguire, Connolly was on the team, Cassavetes was on the team, Lucas Haas was on the team. I think Paul Johansson, I think he was on our team. Big monster, actor, tough guy. I think he was on our team too. I can't remember everybody, but that became kind of like my friendship circle for all these years. I got very lucky. And I remember just like when all that was going down, I was always calling my boys in Detroit going, this is going to sound crazy, man, but like, this is my basketball team that they asked me to be on because I could play ball. I was coming fresh out of Detroit, playing in my summer hoops with all my boys. Half of them were college ball players, college athletes. So I had real basketball skills, 18, 20 years ago, whatever it was. Yeah. I could ball. Now I'm just flat-footed, bottom heavy. I've gone from a point guard to a fucking small forward just by nature. But that run, we had a blast. And so, fast forward to everybody's done their thing in Hollywood and in business. And now my boy, he gets this house every year and we just have a blowout bash. And all the fellas who I've been friends with for 20 years go there. And, they get like these club promoter dudes to bring girls.
Yeah, I mean, it looked fun. When I saw a couple of videos, I was like, man, I wish I could be there.
It was fun, man. But, I haven't been drinking, so I'm 6 months without a drink, 7 months almost. I had the one drink the night before Vertigo, and then I haven't had another drink. But it's basically 7 months of not drinking. So everybody there was drinking, you know what I mean? So they were partying. And some, smoking hot girl from, the Ukraine rolls up, and she's like, I remember you. That's a bad imitation, but I remember you. I'm like, God, I don't remember you. She's like, oh, your voice, your innocent. She goes, you have innocent face. I never forget innocent face. I'm like, what are you talking about, innocent face? I guess I shaved, so I look a lot cleaner when I shave. But she's like, innocent face and voice. I know you. And I truly did not remember her at all. And then she starts unwinding. I'm thinking, this girl's just hammered, and she's mistaken me for somebody else. And she unwinds the story, and it turns out I did remember. It started to come out. I remembered her from a club 2 years earlier where I was drunk on tequila because she reminded me I was drinking tequila. And I made out with her in a public club. You know what I mean? Listen, back in the day, I had no problem with public affection because in my mind I go right to everything is comedy. I'll write a bit about any. You know what I mean? I live for the story.
Oh yeah.
So I had no problem, and she reminded me that things happened with me and her. We didn't have sex. It didn't go all the way there, but she was at this party, and I hadn't seen her in 2 years, and she remembered me, even though she was drunk. But it was a funny night of characters, and culminating on amazing.
So what was the funniest? I guess my question is, was there something funny or something incredibly strange that stood out to you during the course of the day?
Sometimes I feel bad. I don't feel bad, but Leo is the nicest dude, man. He is an awesome person. He really is, man. And I've been friends with him for years. And he just wants to go have fun, enjoy his time, play some volleyball. He likes volleyball. He's a good athlete. He plays volleyball. So it's a bummer that a bunch of people will sit around and stare at him playing volleyball and kind of try to take a picture of him playing volleyball. And they got security. My boy had security all over the place, shutting people down with their phones or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But those moments are yo, put your stupid phone away. Enjoy the 4th of July. Don't try to take pictures of him. You know what I mean? While he's just trying to play. He's already biting his fingernails off. You know what I mean? Just out of just the life that he has to live.
Yeah.
Living in a fishbowl.
Were you in that game?
No, I actually didn't. I was playing football. I was throwing the football, getting my arm back in order. It took me about a half hour to loosen up. And listen, we all know the barbecue show-off. I've been the barbecue athlete show-off at the barbecues. And there was a show-off there. This dude, he works for this environmental company that's cleaning up there. Or like Bill Clinton. I think Leo's on the board of this company. But this dude was he had a college... He had a college quarterback arm. I was playing catch with him. He was throwing bullets at me. So then, I'm older now. But I still got an ego. You know what I mean? I still got a prideful, athletic background.
Yeah.
So I was smooth. Let's just say people noticed Mike Young's athletic ability at the barbecue.
Nice. Were you throwing or running or catching?
Just throwing, catching. Because to me, there's nothing more fun or rhythmic or just to put you in a groove than a game of catch.
Yeah.
I love to play catch. I love it. It was a huge part of my childhood. I have a highly athletic brother. My brother Rob is a phenomenal athlete. So when you get to have like a brother that's an athlete, it's like the coolest shit ever because you can just play catch all day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we were psychos. So we were like, we'd play games like, let's throw it as hard as you can at each other. Whoever drops it's a loser. Just like a stupid game.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, cut to a month later, neither of us will ever drop a ball. To the point where my brother walked on Arizona University's football team as a wide receiver.
Oh, wow.
He walked on the team.
So you guys still have that in you? Because like when you were in Detroit, I saw you posting videos of you like walk in trying to get your mom out there to go and run and jog with you.
Yeah. Well, my dad was an athlete. My dad, like when my dad died when he was 47 years old. Very tragic, very young. It's, ruined my life basically. I mean, it affects you forever. But point is, anytime I see any of my dad's old friends, they're the first thing, like, your dad was such an athlete, phenomenal athlete. Like, my dad was like, all city, all state football, ended up like just picking up racquetball in his 20s and was a state champion racquetball player. One of those guys who could just do anything, catch, throw, run. If he decided to play hockey, he could play hockey. He was just a gifted athlete. And so me and my brother got very lucky that we got his athletic genes because my mom, not an athlete.
Yeah.
Her family, not athletic. I have one uncle that played a little football and could throw the ball, but just to be real, it was my dad's side that was the athletes. And so to me, that's the most fun way that you can grow up.
Yeah, I mean, you said you grew up at a boxing club.
Well, my dad's friend, was good friends with Emmanuel Stewart. So boxing was just like another sport that we got into just by way of my dad's friends. But really, we just spent our entire life. And I thought about this the other day. Like, I've probably worked out on some level, like played a game or done something for like 43 years. Like I think maybe the body does need rest once in a while. Like maybe people have things from just fucking punishing your body for your whole life.
See, what's amazing is, like you said, you've been doing it for 43 years. Like, you think of a guy like Tony Hawk. I'm guessing you guys are around the same age, and he still skateboards like he's 18.
Yeah.
Which is amazing to me.
No, and it's awesome. And it's, by the way, there was a dude, Don Wildman, who I didn't get a chance to meet him, but in Malibu, he's got the house down the way from Chelios, and he's the guy that paid for the fireworks. But I think Don Wildman, if I'm correct, I think he created Bally's Fitness. He created like Lifetime Fitness or 24-Hour Fitness, one of those. So he's a fanatic, but he's 85 years old. And he still is on the beach doing wind sprints. He's surfing. He's staying in shape.
That's amazing.
So to me, if you are fortunate enough to have your legs and your arms and they're working,
do whatever you want.
Fucking stay active, man.
Yeah, go for it.
Go for it.
Like, I'll be driving around, and I've been with somebody who's been like, that guy's 43 years old. He shouldn't be skateboarding. And I'm like, well, if he's healthy enough to do it, let him skateboard.
And coordinated enough. Are you kidding? I'm hoping, knock on wood, that I'm playing sports. I'm playing men's league hockey. I want to play when I'm 60.
Exactly.
My uncle played at 60. He got thrown out of the league for fighting at 60.
That's all.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Bernard, the president, the head of Sony Classics, he was on my hockey team.
Oh, wow.
Tom's probably 60, I don't know, 70 years old, 65. I have no idea, but like his kid was on the team. Tom Bernard, who is a legend in the film industry, is a beast on the ice. I looked up from the bench one time. Him and his son were fighting two dudes on the other team. Like, they were in a fight. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
Father and son fight against people in front of the net. You know what I mean? Taking
Exactly.
people out.
Like in Orlando at the JCC, there'd be like, when I was growing up, there'd be like the 12 to 16-year-olds playing on one court, and then there'd be like people literally 50 and older just playing full court basketball.
Yeah. That's the best way to live, man. If you can stay inactive. By the way, this is what always tripped me out. Like, and Stamos is like the greatest dude, but he did not grow up playing any kind of sports. So before we shot My Man Is a Loser, I had written the part for him as a hockey player. And I knew I'd probably have to get a stunt double anyway, but I didn't know if he could like do any kind of skating at all. So basically he was like, yo, bro, I can't ice skate. I was like, no problem. I'll go back in the script and I'll make it roller hockey league. He called me back. Listen, man, I can't roller hockey. I can't rollerblade. I was like, damn, man. So we talked about it. He was like, listen, bro. He's like, you think my dad was happy? He's like, my dad was a Greek man. You know what I mean? Like, he had a boy. He wanted me to be an athlete. I was taking tap dancing and singing lessons. You know what I mean? I was playing guitar, okay? And by the way, things worked out fantastically for him. However, he did not grow up playing team sports and like the way I grew up. So basically I had to change the scene to a street hockey team that just ran around like a floor hockey thing at an outdoor league in New York City, which they have, but I kept him on the bench for the scene. He was just giving advice to guys on the bench. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. Speaking of sports, because I know you went to the NBA Finals and the Eastern Conference Finals, and now's the day that people can officially sign, and you're talking about calling people, I know today's probably not the best day, but I was thinking you should maybe call up, Nick or Dan Gilbert, be like, just kind of get their opinion.
I think they probably don't want to talk.
Not for at least a while.
Not right now, Dave. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think now is the time. And by the way, I talked to Dan a couple of days ago, and he's good. We didn't talk about LeBron leaving Cleveland. We're talking regular business stuff because I'm trying to do some new stuff with those guys in Detroit.
I mean, he published a great letter. Like, he's like, I can't wait to retire your number. You've done wonderful things for the city. So he.
Oh, did he? I didn't even see that.
Yeah, he wrote a letter, and he was just like, we look forward to the day we can retire the number 23 here in Cleveland. We thank you for everything you've done. So he was very, very professional about the whole thing.
Oh, well, yeah, that's awesome because it's like that. This whole thing is playing out like a dramatic film. It's like Homer. You know what I mean? It's like it's just like the LeBron crafted his perfect ending, and I'm not mad at the dude. Like, you're your own person. You do what you want with your own life.
He got them their title.
He got a title over there. He breathed life into Cleveland in a way that, like, he changed the landscape physically.
The whole economy himself.
The economy was supercharged in downtown Cleveland. He did big things. So everyone's gut instinct and initial thing. Now, listen, we can all be armchair quarterbacks, and you can go. I don't have like the hate, like that kind of hate in me where I'm like, he left. He's got no character. He left the whole city. He's a man. He's his own man. Well, do what you want. The guy he's got a production company in Hollywood. He wants to do movies and television. He's over here. And he's probably thinking, because he's a high-level dude.
He's turning 34, and he's, like I said, actually tested this some the other day. When you go to see him at the Lakers, you go to Staples Center, he's 10% owner of Blaze Pizza, and Blaze Pizza's in Staples Center.
Oh, yeah. Let's let it be known. Stock Tip Dave, probably 6 months ago, made the call that LeBron was coming here based on his ownership of Blaze Pizza. So not only are you giving stock tips that we haven't heard in a long time, but your call on LeBron coming to the Lakers was accurate. And he's setting up shop here.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, what an amazing story it would be if he took this franchise, which is, one of the greatest storied franchises in basketball and sports history, and turned it into something. You know what I mean? Because he could. Like, they're already kind of looking good with who they got over here. Lance Stevenson and Rondo and LeBron. I mean, that's already like a squad.
McKee. And now, actually, here's another prediction. Carmelo Anthony's probably about to be released by the Thunder or traded because they don't want him anymore. So Carmelo Anthony might be joining LeBron in L.A. or he's going to Houston. I don't think it's anybody else. It's L.A. or Houston for Carmelo next year.
But does Carmelo still have great years in his body? Does he still have it like that?
He can no longer carry a team. He cannot carry a team. But at this point of his career, if he's playing with LeBron James, he'll be a perfect complementary player because he's just at that point in his career. He's just a complementary player. You can't build around him.
How old is he?
He should be the same age as LeBron, like 33, 34.
It's crazy. I mean, LeBron looks like he could play another 20 years.
I mean, I think he'll play till he's 40.
Why wouldn't he? I mean, I watched him from 5 feet away, front row.
His goal was to play. I don't think he wants to retire until his son's a rookie in the NBA. I think he actually wants to be the first person to play in the league at the same time of his son.
Oh, is that what's going on?
That's what he's.
What is his kid gonna be a pro for sure? Like, is he that good?
His kid's 13 or 14, and so.
Are they saying he's the next thing?
He's very, very talented, but it's just a question of how tall he's gonna be. Because he could be 5'10".
Right. Tough to predict. That would be an amazing story. I think wasn't there one combination of father-son that played in the league for a moment? By the way, side note, do you know Popeye Jones? Remember Popeye Jones?
Yeah, his son's a hockey player. He's like the number one pick. It's like the number one pick in the draft.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
His son is a phenom on the ice.
Yeah, I remember when that happened, too.
That just shows you got athletic genes, pick your sport. Pick your sport. Your dad was a pro basketball player? I'm going to go play hockey. Genetic freaks. You know what I mean?
Like, it's got to be hard for, Doc Rivers coaching his son, Austin Rivers. He just traded his son.
Right. Right. That's heavy. But we don't know anything, man. I don't believe anything I read. I started to know that LeBron was coming here because a friend of mine she runs she manages LeBron. She manages a bunch of athletes in her company. So she's partners with LeBron's dude Rich. I forgot Rich's last name, but
Paul.
Is it Rich Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Sports.
she was coming to LA all the time over the last like 6 months. And I talked to one of my other friends. So she's awesome. Her name's Farah. She's super cool. And she was my boy Jesse, she was Jesse's assistant when she was 19 years old. So
Wow.
I've known her for like 18, 19 years. You know what I mean? She was like coming out of college and worked for Jesse, my boy Jesse Itzler, who started, at Marquis Jet, Zico Coconut Water, wrote the book Living with a Seal. High level person. I've known her forever. She's always been just like awesome, smart, sharp, kind of like just on this path. And cut to, and I'm sure through Jesse's relationships with athletes, over the years, because LeBron actually I think he flew on Marquis Jet at the time. He was a Marquis card member or whatever. And so she started this company, and she's killing the game.
Nice.
And she was visiting LA all the time, and I never even asked her, but like I talked to a few other people, and I was like, LeBron's coming here, right? And everybody was like, yo, 100%.
I mean, his kids have been going to school here for 2 years, I feel like. Because I remember there's all report, where's his kids enrolled in? Where's they enrolled in? Pay attention to that.
Yeah.
But they've already been here.
What a fun business to be in, sports management. Like, I always sometimes I think about like just starting a brand new life. Like I'll start a sports management company. I'm going to call Farah, say, any athletes you're not signing? No, we're going to sign them. It's like you could just do anything in this world. You could just start anything, do anything. Like, I've thought about that because my boy who I went to high school with, Vince Baldwin, is like the head of Nike basketball. He's like the national director of Nike Hoops.
Oh, wow.
So the pipeline of kids that are coming up, and he talks to me about it all the time. Like, there's like some, young 12, 14, 16-year-old kids that he knows for sure. Excuse me. For sure, if they stay healthy, they're going pro.
Yeah. I mean, they can tell at 13 years old. It's ridiculous.
So I always thought, like, why don't we start a sports management company? We got the ball players, the hoop players coming from Vince. My boy Marty, who's a high-level USHL hockey coach. We got the hockey players coming from him. You know what I mean? I'm sure we could find some football friends. You know what I mean? I'm sure I got friends that are connected to the football world. Yeah. And I'll call Dan Gilbert. Go, Dan, I want to start a sports management company based out of Detroit. Done. Let's do it.
Even like
call me if you want to. I'll get your contract straight.
Like even your friend Jesse, he's now, like you said, part owner of the Hawks, which I use to work for.
Yeah.
It's a pretty open, awesome, amazing environment. He can hit up Dominique Wilkins. He's one of the nicest guys I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
And he can,
That's
introduce you to
it.
people.
Life is about it's so funny, man. It is who you know.
Yeah.
But before who you know, it's what you know. And before what you know, it's how good are you at you know what I mean? Because you don't want to be like a clown who knows everybody. That doesn't do you any good. You know what I mean? Like, that's like a sad clown to me. Like somebody who just like knows everybody, but doesn't have a skill set to come into what are you gonna do with your relationships? Be good at something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
exactly.
I know what I can do, and I know what I can't do. You know what I mean? So what's your skill gonna be? Where are you gonna fit in that puzzle? And be just great at it. And I don't want to get all philosophical, but like,
you actually reminded me of your own comedy bit because you're like saying start a company because you're just reminding me of the one that you posted.
You ever talk to somebody on cocaine? They always want to start a company with you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
for
left.
sure. That actually came out of like I remember when I wrote that bit because I was at a club somewhere with my boys with the whole crew, and like people were on drugs, and like this dude was like gacked out of his mind. He was like on drugs, and he's literally like. He's like, I'm telling you, man, it's like a commercial. You can start commercial real estate program. I can see you right now. You'd be a perfect face man for us. And if we started this program, we start, you can basically buy a strip mall with no money. You don't even need money to buy a a strip mall. And if you put like a Subway sub shop in the strip mall, then, Subway feeds the other places. You could put a sporting goods store in there, and we can start collecting rent. It's amazing. And all you do is you do it all on credit, and then all of a sudden you own the strip mall, and everybody's paying you. It's great, bro. I'll call you Tuesday. And I was like, I remember talking to some strange dude who I just met that day. I'm like thinking like, dude, we're never going into business together.
Yeah.
I don't even know your name. Drugs really have you talking to me like we've known each other for 20 years and you really want to start a company.
Yeah.
But tomorrow you're going to be dehydrated and you're not going to remember this, and just shut the fuck up. Like, shut up.
Like, I was watching your whole comedy bit, and one of the funniest, I think this is one of the funniest bits you've ever had. I loved it. I was dying laughing for at least 30 minutes. And I think,
Jesus.
Yeah, I know. I mean, because I'd never heard this joke. I've never heard you say this joke. And when I heard it, I was like, oh my God. I think you should bring it back more. The one about the 1-year-old kid or your kid, you know, because your kid's not a genius because you're the father.
Oh, right. Like, well, that's a good point. I could take that bit and
That was
stretch
awesome.
it out. Thank you. Well, that was based on a real story too. Like one of my boys, his kid was 1. He was 1, and he thought he had a genius kid because the way the kid looked around. And he was like, "Yo, look at my kid. He's analyzing you." And I'm like, "Your kid is humming bubbles. Like there's bubbles. He's staring at a mobile or whatever that thing is on the wall, like that's spinning from the ceiling."
My favorite part was you doing the walk. You're like this. Hello, it's nice to meet you. Looking down at the ground while looking at your feet.
You talking about a genius?
Yeah, because you're like, oh yeah, my kid invented something. But when you talk to him, he's looking at his feet, and you're walking with your head down.
Yeah, because that's true. If you've ever met a genius, good for you to be a genius. But they don't seem happy, and they're socially whacked. You know what I mean? So like, it's better. It'd be great if you were a genius. Somebody was a genius. If you have a genius kid out there, God bless you. If you're a genius, you're lucky. Good for you. Whatever your focus is on, I hope you're killing the game and being a genius. But most people that are considered genius that I've met, high-level smart people, socially they are off. They're looking down at their feet while talking. They're looking to the side while talking. You know what I mean? They just got quirks. And it's, by the way, I'm really good at a lot of things. I wish I was genius at something.
Yeah.
I don't have I guess I don't know. I'm a good writer, but I'm no genius. I can tell you that right now.
Well,
there ain't a fucking way I got a genius gene. You know what I mean? I just didn't.
I was gonna see if you could break out one of your new jokes.
What are my new jokes? I mean, I've done the alone time bit. Have you heard the alone time?
I think I briefly heard it for like 5 seconds, but not the whole bit. So I remember you posted something. I saw something online, and I was like, oh, that sounds familiar.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple new bits that I'm really trying to craft are like, one is in the relationship space, and it's about the faster people get tricked. Like the faster a relationship starts, the faster it ends.
Yeah.
You know, don't get tricked by these exciting, explosive relationships where you think this is the one right away. You know what I mean? Because I've had those.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We met. We had the greatest conversation in the world at an after party. The next day we went out. The next day we had sex. It was amazing sex. Then I got your brother a job, and I never talked to you again. You know what I mean? Like, we did everything that a relationship can have in a 1-week period, and we never spoke again. And nobody cares that we don't. You know what I mean? So my point on that bit was just like, don't get tricked by the explosive relationships. I've been tricked. I've gotten in those. You know, I've been tricked by like beautiful girls with wild personalities. You know, I've been tricked by that. And then like I'm doing this new bit now about sometimes a girl will have your head upside down. Like, you ever just been in love? I've been in love before. I thought I was in love, but I was really just like, this girl just had my mind twisted. And so I knew my mind was twisted when I started bragging about her to my friends. Yeah. And what I was bragging about made no sense. And I was like, yo, man, my girl's a genius. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, this girl could do puzzles.
Puzzles.
I'm bragging about her ability to do puzzles. And my friend's like, yo, man, like, crossword puzzles, like, she must be pretty. I was like, no, bro, jigsaw puzzles. This girl can sit for 3 straight hours and put a whole blue sky together. Do you know how gifted you need to be to do that? And so that's really, and then I just go on to different things that she's gifted at that make no sense. I'm like, this girl's got amazing posture. You should see her parallel park. You know what I mean? Like, You can't just be dumb in parallel park. Like, I was twisted.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching a movie the other day, and it sounds like one of the lines I was using in the movie about it just being like in a short-term infatuation, and the things that you love the most will end up being the things that bother you the most.
Yeah. What movie were you watching?
It's a line from The Beach.
From The Beach? Leo's movie?
It was one of his lines.
I could have written The Beach.
Because I watched it the other day, and it's just a line he used when he's like looking up at the stars, like talking to the French girl.
Really?
Yeah, there's a line where it's like, when you're infatuated with somebody, the things that you love the most about them end up being the things that annoy you the most.
By the way, that's genius. Who wrote The Beach? That's a great line. That's a
Uh-huh.
great. That's philosophy right there because that's so true.
I wish I could tell you, but I'm not 100% positive.
Because everything that I thought was so great, 6 months later, it was everything that I was trying to get rid of. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? To the point where I like this girl swept in and like lived with me all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And I was like trying to figure out how to get her out without just packing all her stuff and putting it at the door. I was just pulling all my best moving moves, you know what I mean, to get her out. And it was the wild personality. Over it. I'm over it. The exciting personality. Just fucking relax. Sit down. Read a book. You know what I mean? Your exciting personality, it's because you're chemically imbalanced beyond. You know what I mean? That's just exciting because you're just talking nonstop.
Yeah.
It's like watching you're just like watching a funny object spin around. You know what I mean? Like I was tricked by like a magician. I was hypnotized. But, these are things you got to go through in life. You know what I mean? You got to learn. And that's why I've been single now for a good long time because I'm just going to wait this one out until I feel
It's kind of like
what's
your
real.
bit where you're like, you meet somebody, you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to get you an Uber sandwich.
Yeah, an Uber burrito. You got to go. But that's not, I'm not trying to be mean, but that's a bit about girls that will like stay over for way too long who you just met.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Girls in their 20s. I started doing bits on girls in their 20s and their phones. I said, what's the new joke? I said, you could tell how a girl's doing in life just by the condition of her phone. Like you look at a 23-year-old girl, she's got cat hair and lipstick stuck to her phone.
Or there's
You're not
cracks in the
doing
mirror.
good. You know what I mean? Your phone's cracked. You know what I mean? Your service is in and out. I just caught a glimpse of a text message that you know what I mean? I didn't even know you had a boyfriend you were in the middle of breaking up with. You know what I mean? You're fighting with 4 friends on your phone. You know what I mean? The shit's disappearing, and now somehow you got me to pay the bill. So, I don't know, man. I got a bunch of new stuff. I wish, what's so funny, man? I thought about bringing my notebook to look at the new bits.
Yeah.
I'm working on a new bit about Mike Young versus Young Mike, how everybody's 2 people. We all have, it's probably where the concept of Superman and Bizarro came from. Like, everybody's got good and evil. Not good and evil, but good and bad thoughts.
Yes.
And I'm trying to work on a bit, and I haven't really, like, put it together yet, but it's,
Didn't you have a show last night? Did you use any of that stuff?
no, because Hermosa Comedy and Magic Club, it's their 40th anniversary.
Oh, wow.
And so they invited all the comedians to come down and do 5 minutes, and they ding you. It's like a rapid fire thing. So I couldn't get in any groove in 5 minutes. And so I did not do any of my new stuff last night, just because time-wise, and it was just an event.
We should get some of your new stuff next week when you're down in
Tonight
Irvine.
Tonight I'm actually going back to Hermosa, and I'm gonna do my new stuff. I'm gonna do Divorce Friends, Alone Time. I wrote a whole new bit about when you come home drunk alone and you talk to yourself. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to like go through this whole character piece where it's like, look at that, look at those stupid shoes. You know what I mean? Who runs? I don't run. What am I running from? What are you running from? You know what I mean? Oh, look at that stupid haircut I had in 2000. Fuck, who does that? You know what I mean? Stupid haircut. Let me turn on the TV, see what's going on. Fuck. Who's James Corden? Where did he come from? You know what I mean? I'm just like looking at him like, God, he's kind of funny though. Hey, I could sing like carpool. I carpool karaoke every day.
Yeah, you're right. That guy, I had no idea who he was until he was on that show.
Yeah.
Came out of nowhere.
He's good. James Corden, he's good. I'd love to have a late night talk show. How do we get that? Maybe I could just start one here at All Things Comedy. We just use the studio. By the way, Aaron, do they have anybody doing like a talk show here?
No.
And if I wanted to, I could literally just go in that studio and do a talk show.
I mean, it's a little more complicated than that, but sure.
But I mean, you could pitch it. I could pitch it and then develop it. And
Yeah, of course.
why is nobody I'm all about using what is in what you have.
And when I was taking the Adam Carolla podcast class on my computer, they said one of the most unused things in podcasts that are not being used right now is video is going to be part of the next generation of podcasts. And so the more videos you have, the better.
Yeah. Is this going out live? This one?
No.
No. But the video portion can go out tonight.
I mean, it'll be on as soon as we walk out the door.
Right. Right. No, video. I love the whole. I love that. I love what's the word, man? Not utilizing, but like, yeah, use your resources. And this will bring us full circle because we're gonna wrap this up in a second. But this will bring us full circle on Single Mike, because when I shot Single Mike, the 12-minute pilot presentation, I just used what I had around me at its highest level. I had great comedian friends and great actors who were with me. You know what I mean? And I hired them and I brought them in and they were in Single Mike. And then I used, you know what I mean? What costs nothing is my ability to write comedy. I wrote a little 12-minute piece, Then I used what I had in my apartment. I had said we could shoot here for free. Then I used my friend's bar, Goal. So being a producer is really just using resources that you have around you. Point being, I could shoot some of Single Mike here. And when I shot Single Mike and used all my resources, it's come back in a beautiful way, because now I've got people that want to give me money to shoot a full episode of Single Mike.
That's awesome.
And I wrote up the deal. I had my lawyer put a little skeleton deal together. And knock on wood, man, I've got like 4 people offering to do this. And so we're going to go shoot Single Mike and see what happens. And we're going to make a pilot. Yeah,
'cause you've been writing that for like a while.
You mean this episode?
Well, so you've been spending the last 3.5 weeks writing.
Oh, yeah. So I'll send it over to you, see if you like it. But yeah, I'm finished with the episode. And the episode, it's fun, man. It's fun. It's based on all the real shit that happens in my life, you know, when you're single. And so the theme of the first episode is how single is exhausting. And it's like there's a girl in the building who's dating a UFC fighter, and she's been talking about me to him to the point where now he's pissed and he wants to talk to me. And so I spend basically the whole episode kind of avoiding him. You know, and I'm Facebook Living, and I'm going to my men's league basketball game. And at men's league basketball, some funny stuff happens where, like, you know how when like hot girls show up at your at your game, it throws off everybody's game.
Yeah, they want to impress them. They got to try hard.
For sure. So now I'm coming down court, calling out plays that don't exist.
Speaking of your microphone skills, I thought you'd love this. So next Thursday is the return of karaoke, is the rumor. So if you wanted to go back to your karaoke.
Game on, Playboy.
Next Thursday is the day.
Take me back now, funny how time disappears. Young rebels on the street full of fire and fear. The late night street fights underneath the street lights. DJ played a record that you needed on that night. Too young for bars, we were rocking in the cars. Looking for action like some neighborhood movie stars. Running round town now, free as a bird. Just loud as you can, 'cause you gotta get heard. My blood pumps steel, you feel real invincible. Too cool for school, yo, I never met the principal. Spend every night getting high as a kite. Just sneaking in the back and eating everything in sight. Young with the hunger, fast pace, no fear. I'm living every day, I'm gonna live 100 years. Take me back when I was a kid. Never had to worry about what I did. I'm coming for you, karaoke. Connolly, get it, your boy. Leo, you want to see me freestyle? Toby, let's see what you got. I'm calling out all karaoke. Karaoke Goal next Thursday. Be there.
It's funny. One of my friends, he listens to our podcast, and he's like, man, I'm here sitting at my desk, and all I'm thinking about is the Take Me Back song in the opener. And he's sitting there singing it to himself at his work desk.
Yeah, no, it was Joe Rogan's favorite song. Nobody knew I was a rapper. I played it for him one day. He played it every day. And Rogan's like put it on his podcast before, like back in the day, in his early days. So I'm not, you will hear Mike Young turn into Young Mike, and you will hear because I'm going to do a new comedy album, and I'm going to do some hip-hop comedy songs, like some dope comedy.
That's actually pretty cool.
Dope.
Like comedy rap?
Abomatomically. Yeah. Some real comedy rap. No one's touched it yet. So
that's a good idea.
I'm coming for you. I
like that.
I'm going platinum. That's this episode. Good stuff. What do we got? I got Irvine, July 13th and 14th. 2 shows both nights, me and Bob Saget. And Bob Saget is coming on the podcast next week. I'm just going to say it and make it happen because Saget's already telling me he wants to do it. So Bob Saget will be on the next podcast. He is my brother. He is an amazing dude. He is an icon, a legend, and he's my boy. So next Friday, Saturday, we are in Irvine. August 3rd and 4th, we are at the Kansas City Improv. I believe it's the Kansas City Improv.
And we'll be posting some of your new comedy bits on our Instagram account. So if you want to see what Mike looks like live, it'll be on our Instagram account pretty soon. That's Stories That Need to Be Told.
Yep. So check Stories That Need to Be Told Instagram. Tell all your friends about it. I'm talking about it when I get on stage in front of everybody. And at the real Mike Young, get at me on Instagram. Stock Tip Dave, good to see you, buddy. We're
Been a while.
glad you're feeling better.
One of the most frequent questions I've had over the last few weeks, they're like, "When's Mike coming back?" I've gotten text messages, questions like, "Where's Mike? When's he coming back?"
Yo, tell everyone, karaoke. We'll see you there Thursday. I'm the non-owner of Goal. All right, peace. We'll talk to you later. All Things Comedy. We're out. Great 1 hour. I gotta go to the bathroom.